if anybody's even going to be able to see this when it's live. You know, I have no idea how this even works really, or if you can even hear me. But yeah, broke my arm. Back in my hometown, I found a spot to get raw milk near me. So I just got back from the farm, and yeah, got some raw milk from the farm. When I picked it up, the cream on top was like yellow, but you can't really tell now. Maybe you can kind of tell, but it's like really rich colored. So I would give you an update on my arm, but I don't want to give any updates on my arm yet because it's going to be in a video where I talk about what's going on with my arm. What's going on, Joey? How you doing? Got some raw eggs. Actually, these aren't the raw eggs that I got from the farm. Those are from the grocery store. These are from the farm. Let me show you these. Oh, baby. They're only $4.50 a dozen, and they're covered in poop. That's the way that they should be. $4.50, all different colors. Amazing. Buying local is the best. Joey, I would say the best way to get raw milk is just Google it. Like Google raw milk near me, or even you could ask AI now, and then AI is going to analyze the internet and then find like raw milk near you. Yo, how's it going back? Or you could use realmilk.com. I would start with AI first and let me know if you get any like suggestions. I got really lucky. Most of the raw milk farms near me, at least in the past, in my hometown, because obviously I've lived here for a while, so I've looked around. The one that was closest to me was like a goat milk farm, and it was quite a ways away. So I would drive 45 minutes every single week there and back to get raw goat's milk. But it was so worth it. It was delicious. What does the milk taste like? The one I'm drinking is so good it tastes like creamy milkshake. The farm is an hour away, but well worth it. How you doing, Games? Uh, it honestly tastes like regular store-bought milk. Not gonna lie. I mean, I buy like grass-fed milk from the grocery store, and that's what this tastes like. You know, like it doesn't even have that crazy of a taste. No, it's cow's milk, but my mustache. But raw goat's milk, I'm just gonna leave it because it's kind of funny. Raw goat's milk has a much like gamier taste to it, you know. But raw cow's milk doesn't taste like much of anything. Real milk probably doesn't ship to UK. Oh, you're in the UK? Well, that makes a big difference. Probably a lot harder. Wait, what did you say? We might be alone? Full of bacteria, raw goat milk? Exactly, it's good for you. It looks like you think it's good too. Raw stuff that I avoid, I don't eat fruit, really. I don't eat fruit unless I'm offered it. I don't like go out and buy fruit because I just don't like it. You drink raw milk more than you drink water. Me too. And you don't, I mean, if you're drinking milk, you're getting water, you know? Like if you're eating raw meat, you're getting water. So it's not like you're not getting any water. Time to restart the arc, get a buzz cut, rid the beard, rid the glasses, go to Bali for spiritual retreat and reset body count. That sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. I've thought about cutting my hair off because it's really difficult to manage long hair when you have one arm. You know, like I'm trying to wash my hair with an egg. I'm trying to do the egg wash still. I gotta do something about that. I got the egg wash still. You know, I'll rub my hair with the egg, but when you don't have two hands, it's harder because it's a very like I don't know the word. It's a very physical process when you're washing your hair with egg. You have to, it's a very active process, and it's really hard to get out too. So if you got one arm and you can't shower because the water will get on your splint, you're screwed. You like the beard? It's cool. It's like really, it's not that great, but you know, chicken. I don't avoid chicken. I eat raw chicken. Thank you, Finn. Appreciate that. You said you make it mentally and mentally impaired people have to stay in the psychiatric city forever, honestly. Long hair is very annoying to manage. Especially curly, like you say, yeah. Because you gotta. I also don't use a hairbrush, so I use my fingers to get through my hair. It's got a nice point. Is it supposed to have a point? How many caps do I have? I have one hat. I've thought about getting more. Some raw honey. Raw honey? What happened to raw honey? That's a good point, Boz. Once you cut your hair, you realize that how much of a burden that it was to have long hair. And even like on a man, like it doesn't even help you in terms of your attractiveness. Like after a certain point, like women just think that you're gross when you have like super long hair. I don't know, unless you're like Giga Chad. For like the average guy, it's like medium length haircut, and then that's as long as it should ever really get because of like sexual dimorphism and stuff like that. Fear of getting sick from this stuff. Well, I'm not very fearful. That would kind of defeat what I'm doing. I'm not fearful. I've been doing this before I even started making videos about it, so there was never any point that I was like afraid of eating raw meat or anything. Yeah, I'm really thinking about cutting my hair for sure, especially with this broken arm. I feel like I got a good excuse. Then you'll look at photos of your long hair and be like, that was disgusting. Exactly. Short hair is so much easier to manage, and it just like it frames your face better. You missed the opportunity to pretend to eat with me. You just eat more. Just get fat, you know? Real primals would just eat more and get fat. You mean for people like you who haven't done it? I don't really have. I got a video, it's called like eating raw meat from the grocery store that I made like a year or so ago. Artej, I do remember you. I probably remember all your names if I've seen you in the streams before. I mean, we've spent like hours together. It is 1:58 p.m. for me right now. Honestly, I was not considering cutting my hair until I broke my arm. I do remember you, Joey. Buy hair clippers and do your own hair. Yeah. Unless you're really talented, then you probably shouldn't. I've shaved my head before. You can shave your own head if you want. We wanted to ask, like, I'm not really up to date with your situation. Can arm be healed eventually? I will be giving an update on the arm in one of my newer videos. My newest video that I'll post. I talk about exactly what's happening and what the future looks like with the arm. Oh, thank you, Finn. I appreciate that. A few months, that's a long time. Is there anything many raw meat eaters have in common? Yeah, there's a lot of things. I would say, like, a lot of them don't want to eat. Are you talking about in terms of their diet? Like, a lot of them don't want to eat frozen meat. A lot of them aren't afraid of bacteria. I don't know. Autism. See, that's another one that I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it. One of them is like, Yeah, a big one are like raw meat eaters. So people who eat raw meat, they're the kind of people who they're constantly like researching things, looking into things, and they always want to be like the best. So they're going to like convey that to you that like they are the best, that their way is the best. A lot of them. A lot of the younger ones. I feel like the older people, like if you've seen Resident Raw's interviews with, I actually met one of the people who he interviewed. I met him. I met him and Scott Hall. It wasn't Phoenix. It was the other guy, Sam. I've met Sam. Sam is such a cool guy. He was very down to earth and very chill. Like the older people who eat raw meat, they're not like the younger people. The younger people, like they're doing this because they've been influenced by social media. I never met Jeff Slay. I met oh, my beard is scratching the mic. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll try to keep my head up. I hope it doesn't get too bad. You don't eat the raw diet, but you like seeing me live my life. It inspires you to eat more real food. That's good. And I'm not necessarily even trying to like convince people to eat raw meat or to eat raw food. Like I say, like I don't consider myself primal, raw carnivore anymore. I would just consider myself like a carnivore. And I think that humans are definitely, we do best eating a carnivore diet. And whether you do it cooked or raw, if you include a lot of animal products into your diet, you're going to be very healthy, you know? And yes, you'll probably be more healthy if you eat it raw, but the degree to which you'll be healthier is probably so small, you know? It's just like an eye-catching niche. Older people either found Aj or they grew up eating that way. The newer ones found GOTUS. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Raw dairy is tastier, in your opinion? You don't do raw meat. Raw dairy is tastier. It doesn't have any off flavors. When you cook milk, it becomes like more sweet, and I don't know, it becomes thicker as well. So it's a little harder to drink, but raw milk is a little bit thinner, and it doesn't have any overly sweet to it, you know. You went more fish wise, but that's still really good. I think eating fish is probably almost no difference between how healthy you can be eating fish and then eating like ruminant animals. You've never had raw meat, but you love watching the content and the occasional go to binge watch for comedy. Ah, okay. So like you found out about the raw meat community and the influencers, but never really tried it. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I feel like most people are doing it. I feel like I don't know though, because like the dynamic has changed. Like as this stuff has gotten more popular, some people see it as like interesting or even a joke. Maybe they're watching it for that. I don't know. You know the diet because of a random streamer called JJ Stream. Then he streamed with Scott and then Aj. Oh wow, that's crazy. Scott, he gained a lot of popularity on Instagram from what I know. I don't have Instagram, so I don't know what it's like currently, but I know he was like blowing up on Instagram. As a matter of fact, when I was doing Omegle videos, there's one video where I got matched with a random person, and the guy already knew about raw meat, and he's like, "Yeah, I've met Scott before." I was like, "No way! Like, I've met Scott before." Like, what are the odds you match with some random person on Omegle, and you've both like met the same person? I was like, "Yeah, I was in his Discord or something like that." Yeah, pasture raised meat. Yeah, what's more important than raw or cooked is how healthy is the animal to begin with. You like the farming content? Me too. That was my favorite. And it's inspired me moving forward. In one of my newer videos that you guys will see, I went out to the farmer's market and I went around and I talked to different farmers. I wasn't planning on it, but I had the GoPro on and they were talking to me, and like I just became really social. And I thought to myself, it would be really cool if I could ask these farmers if I could go on their farms and then like record what they do, talk about what they do, and make content while simultaneously promoting their farm. I thought that'd be fun. As a matter of fact, I just emailed the farmer of the raw cow's milk and asked him if I could like make a video about his experience with raw milk, and you know, I thought that'd be cool. I used to have a TikTok, but I deleted it because I didn't find that it actually helped my YouTube channel. Maybe in the long run it would, but I didn't find that it was worth my time, you know? Having multiple social medias, I just don't have the discipline to do that. So YouTube works best for me because my YouTube shorts do better. You know, like YouTube actually compensates me with ad revenue. I get nothing from TikTok. So, yeah. You liked the POV cam? How you doing, Byron? And Mr. Milkjar? It'd be cool if I made a video if you saying get on the ground like a cop. I do feel a little bit like a police officer when I've got the GoPro on. I feel really safe, you know? Like I feel like when I go out in public and I've got a GoPro on my chest, like nobody's gonna mess with me. Nobody's gonna try to scam me. Nobody's gonna do anything suspicious. It's great. When are you gonna start woofing again? Are you gonna go back to the same farm, or are you gonna find a new one, if possible, non-vegetarian? Most likely, I think if I get back into woofing, I'm going to find a new one that's not vegetarian, but I don't know. See, the thing is, I started to accept it more that farm was vegetarian, and because he's also like fine with me filming all the time. So that's like a big thing for me, because if I go to a farm and they're not okay with me filming, even if I get meat, you know, that's gonna kind of suck. So I feel like it's rare to find somebody who's as chill as Thomas. Do more fishing content, cooking with what you can catch. I do want to do that. Once my arm is healed, for sure. I would love to do that. Also, fishing licenses here in Kansas are only like 20 bucks for a year. So it's a good place to fish. Now, when I'm in Colorado though, fishing license for the year is over $100. So that kind of sucks, but it could be worth it. Did my hair routine change at all? Good question. It did not change yet, but it is going to change. It's about to. I was using eggs in my hair, but with one arm, it's really hard to wash it and then get it out. So at the farmer's market, I went and I got this. It's a shampoo bar from a local lady here, local lady where I live. So yeah, I'm gonna try this out and see how it works. She also recommended 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water for conditioner. Bigger difference in raw versus cooked meat rather than the meat quality, even with low quality meat and eggs. I look very different when I eat mostly raw. Well, that's an interesting finding. Like, have you documented that? Like, have you actually isolated both of the variables, documented it, and taken pictures? You know? Because that's interesting. Like, you should, because it's one thing to be able to say that, but it's another thing to actually be able to, like, show what you mean and to actually isolate the variables. And that's the thing with like diet and nutrition science as well, is that it's all like kind of dumb, because a lot of the testing isn't even done on humans. And like if you look at the Pottinger's cat study, it was so poorly conducted that you can't even really use it because there's so many variables that they didn't track that are all over the place. So it's like there's like almost no definitive proof out there that raw meat is any better than cooked meat, because everybody's been so horrible about like collecting any of it, and it's also just really hard to do. You look very healthy. You wouldn't discount the fact that you eat raw animal based. Cooked meat eaters don't quite have the same glow. Well, I don't know about that, bro. Did you see Thomas? That guy was glowing. He's been a vegetarian all of his life. You know, he eats a little bit of like broth when like somebody brings him a soup. He drinks raw milk, but he's a vegetarian. The guy doesn't even eat meat, and he's 65, and he looks way healthier than most people his age. He has a glow. Well, he has a glow because he's out in the sun. I didn't have a glow before I got in the sun. Also, there's a window in front of me. I don't think I look anything special. I just got sunlight. That's it. Too bad no raw meat eater has any money to fund the proper research. Would be cool. Agreed. But also the thing is, with nutrition stuff, what I've learned from watching Bart K is that you can't really do these studies on human beings for like diet and finding the difference between somebody who eats this and somebody who eats that. You'd have to like take two twins and isolate them from each other and give them the exact same thing, track everything. You know, you'd have to make sure their sleep was exactly the same. Like the only thing that would change is this aspect to their diet. And it's to actually get like definitive evidence, it'd be really hard, really hard. I missed a lot of comments that popped in here. Haven't taken pictures, but you notice a meaningful difference in my face. I think it looks more angular. Well, maybe it's because like less salt, so you're holding on to like, you know, less water or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. Like you probably do look better. I don't know. I don't know, man. Saw me eating the veg and it was free. Do you think adding fruits or veg would be beneficial? Not at all. It's just water and fiber, and all of the nutrients in fruits and vegetables are way less bioavailable than in animal products. Low quality meat won't taste good raw. Um, True. That can be true. Although I was eating $3 chicken breasts and it tasted just fine. The thing is, it doesn't taste bad still. It just doesn't taste like good. And meat really doesn't taste like much of anything, even high quality meat. How's it going, Alex? It has been a long time. The sun is the real deal. Good luck for Vampire Maxers. The sun is the real deal. Oh, you got a katana? That's my brother's katana. I was about to pull it out. It's a fake katana. It's plastic. Is the real milk in here? Oh, the real milk jar. No, no, that's the fake milk jar. You get what Bart K and Edward Goki say. It's impossible to make real science on humans exactly, but so one can get very strong correlations. Agreed. Yeah, it is impossible to get perfect science, but you still could get really strong ones if you do it right. And I think it could be possible, you know? It's just like, who's gonna fund that? It's a cheap cop-out. I don't find it to be a cheap cop-out, personally. I think it's completely logical. They look more so, they just look in a different direction for their science. I would like to talk to them maybe so I can learn more and they can educate me more. That'd be cool. I'd love to reach out to maybe Eddie Goki. Before, Byron is the one who actually told me who Eddie Goki was. I didn't even know who Eddie Goki was. And honestly, I didn't care for a while. I didn't even really understand like what the point of it was, but I get it now. I really like Eddie Goki and Bart K. Yours triplet, brother. Do you think vegetable juice can be good for detox? I mean, like, what's the proof? What is the proof? I'd like to maybe it could help, but what's the proof that it actually works and that you're actually detoxing? And I don't know. If you won the Mega Millions, you'd use a lot of the money doing primal experiments. That would be cool. That would be pretty legendary. The thing that I would be most interested in seeing is what is the real difference between cooked and raw meat. Pasteurized milk and raw milk. Like, what differences would you actually see in somebody? Do you get the vitamins and stuff from your diet, or do you think you miss certain ones, or are they unnecessary via your diet? Somebody could probably figure out like what vitamins I'm getting based on the foods that I eat. But what I can tell you is that, like, from what I understand, raw eggs have almost every single nutrient for the human body. Raw milk has like almost every single nutrient for the human body. Same with raw meat. So I'm not really concerned about it. The detox you get from the veggie juice is you detoxing from the juice itself. You're probably right. It's like when I drink vegetable juice, I have really bad gas, right? But when I don't drink vegetable juice, I don't have bad gas. Like, the problem is that like the vegetable juice is causing me gas. That is why I'm farting, not because I'm like detoxing it. I don't, And then maybe somebody's saying, well, the vegetable juice helps bind to this and that. Okay, well, what's the proof? Is there any proof? Literally. Hot baths and sauna, best for detox logically. That makes sense. Sweating, like, I think there's actual proof for like to support that like you sweat that stuff out. They often just reject claims because there's no direct causal relationships, which is ridiculous. Oh, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to talk to them about that. I really like them. Sauna is horrible for your lungs. Destroys all the mucus. Probably right. Drinking pasteurized milk, watching this. Hey, I don't blame you. I would do the same thing if I couldn't get raw. Or honestly, I'm applying for Neat Bucks right now. So if I get Neat Bucks, I probably won't buy raw milk just because if I get free money and I can just get free pasteurized milk, I will do that. The AGEs that accumulate because of the carcinogens in cooked meat and the small loss of B vitamins if cooked slightly. I've heard that before, but I don't know if I believe that they're actually an issue, the AGEs from cooked meat. Also, I don't think there's any proof that cooked meat actually is carcinogenic. These are great questions. This is why I think it'd be great to bring like Eddie Goki on or Bart K on, because there's so many of you that say these things, and they're very like well educated on these topics. So I might be sending an email, and I know Bart K seems to be very open to that. So does Eddie, because we could get a lot of you in the comments, and then they could definitely address this stuff. And I would like to see too, because you asked me these questions, or you guys say these things, and I'm like, okay. Like, what is the proof? How do I counter this? I don't always know. Cooked milk loses a lot of water-soluble vitamins and minerals. What do you mean by a lot? And the enzymes are also destroyed? Well, like the thing with the enzymes is like they would get destroyed in your stomach acid anyways. And what do you mean by a lot of water-soluble vitamins? Like, I feel like Augenis claimed that it lost like literally like 70% or something, which is just totally, there's no proof. There's literally no proof. It's like a statement that was made, And we say these things, but like, what is the actual proof behind what you're saying? Anyways, I'm getting kind of far behind. Alex, you said you ate some goy slop the other day for the first time. It was terrible. You had stomach pain. You must have had some pretty bad stuff because like I had Jack in the Box in that one video, and I'll eat like burgers and stuff, but my stomach's okay. You must have ate something really bad. You'd love some Neat Bucks. Yes, I need some Neat Bucks. Okay, I'm going back. You got 4 new pairs of barefoot shoes. Why 4 pairs? Where is the fucking proof? Yes, exactly. Like, people will say these things, but like, where is the proof? Email me the proof. I will look into it. I have a lot of time, you know, I do have a broken arm. Raw honey is 95% enzymes and 5% sugar, by the way. Is that a joke? That's gotta be a joke. Dude, that part of the Bart K debate with Resident Raw was pretty, it was funny, you know? Not funny like, haha, Resident Raw so dumb, not like that, but it's funny because it's one of the things that kind of exposes how, like, we'll say these things about raw meat, raw milk, raw honey, but there's literally no proof, and we're entered into this like debate setting, and it just makes me go like, why do we say this? Like, there is no proof, you know. What are some of the things that Bart K says? It's so funny. He says some really funny stuff. The Scott Hall wiping method. I heard him say that he wipes with his hand. No. Okay, I'll stop rambling. Sorry. The broken arm is actually the left one. So, um, I wish it was my right arm, because then retention maxing would be way easier. Sunshine, sunshine. He's talking to me. Hey there, sunshine. We got real free-range chickens in our village. Beautiful. Eggs are crazy good. Dude, talking about eggs, let me show you these eggs I got from the farm today. What I don't get is why Resident Raw does these debates. I think, you know what? I think Resident Raw, he understands, like, he's not going to win the debate. He does want to just pose and have an open-minded conversation, which I do respect. You don't always have to go into a YouTube debate planning to win it. You know, what he's doing, he's spreading what he believes in. And I think there's a lot of points that Augenis makes that aren't necessarily factually correct, but they are interesting. They're very hard to prove, but maybe they could help somebody. Yeah, none of Augenis research is publicly available. Exactly, that is the truth. Hey, Primal Blood. Yeah, the image is flipped, sorry. Enzymes in raw milk help kids reduce asthma and allergies. I experienced this myself. Yeah, a lot of people do have testimonials about how, you know, it helps them, especially as kids with these problems. We're discussing all sorts of things. I'm getting behind. What made me drink the egg straight from the shell? I just didn't have a cup. They never change anyone's mind. Exactly. It's just, it's entertainment. That's all that YouTube is. It's just entertainment. Most of it. They just make people more confident in their own beliefs. Wolf on a weed farm and live stream stoned. There are a lot of farms nowadays that do have a little bit of marijuana. I mean, I was smoking a little bit on the farm in Colorado. It was nice. You know, just like 2 to 3 hits, and then you're feeling like really good. There was one day though where I did way too much. It was bad. We were having an insane conversation. I was smoking with the Austrian guy, and the Austrian guy was going like, I have Michael Jackson in my luggage. Like, I have Michael Jackson in my luggage? And I was like, what are you talking about? He says, Michael Jackson. He's in my luggage. What? I'm like, something like so high. And he's talking about Michael Jackson. And it just became a joke after that. Even when I was high, I was sitting there asking him, I was like, what are you talking about? Michael Jackson in your luggage, dude. It's like, this is weird, man. I wish I did document it. It was an insane conversation. He was funny. After a few beers, he had like 5 beers in the members only video. He'd had 5 beers, dude. 5 Guinnesses. He'll probably be back here again next year. Maybe. I don't know if we'll meet again though, you know. I don't know what'll happen. Better off with edibles. The smoke is the main issue. Yeah, probably. Or like Scott Hall says, just chew the raw weed. Do I drink a lot? No. No. It's like a once every 6 months kind of thing. Sorry if my mic's rubbing again. I don't know. I almost never get honey, but I saw it at the farmer's market and I just wanted to support the farm. Yes, I will miss the sleeping arrangement. By sleeping arrangement, do you mean where I was sleeping in the camper? I do miss it. It was nice. You know, I had my own camper. It was like my own little apartment on the farm, and it was nice. The only thing I don't miss is waking up to the sound of chickens and roosters. That's kind of annoying. A lot of people have an aversion to raw eggs, and it is mainly the white, I think. I think if you're not eating really high quality eggs, then the white is going to be really thick and not very tasty. Has an off taste. Plan for the future, dude, I don't know. I don't know, you know. It might be a while before my arm's healed. I don't want to go too into detail because it'll be in the next video about what's going on with the arm, but it might be a while. I don't even know if I'll be able to go back to woofing again. Said pharmaceuticals helped you more than any raw food or sunlight or grounding ever did by an incomparable amount. Yeah, that's the truth for a lot of people. There's some things that you just can't heal with food. I know, world, it is pretty sad, but I don't, it just realistically, like, I might not be able to woof because of what's, you know, I don't know. It might be a while before I can woof again. Which really sucks, and it's like really embarrassing. You know, because I quit my job, I go woof, and I'm living at my mom's house. And maybe if I was like good to go in a month, I could go back and work on the farm again and be okay. But it might just be a little too long. Like, unless I can get neat bucks, if I can get neat bucks, then I'll be okay, I think. And I'll be able to just go back into wolfing. Pastured eggs from local farmers taste like semen. Really interesting. You like store-bought versus the farmer's eggs. That's really interesting. I know what you mean, though, with that taste. I know what you mean. Not that I have, like, tasted semen, but, like, I know what you mean by that. Like, they have a richer, like, flavor to it. A little funky. Any good movies recently? No. Ever since I started woofing, I have not seen any movies. One that I do want to watch, though, is Dracula: A Love Tale with Caleb Landry Jones. Permanent damage. So, yeah, it's not even so much the permanent damage, it's more so just like the financial thing. And I think that is probably the case with so many people, is like the financial aspect of breaking a bone. It's really sucks. Even though I have like insurance, hopefully that's going to cover it, which I still don't know because it's travel insurance that was provided from Wolf. Anyways, thank you, Virilient. Learn tractor work. That's just sitting in a machine. That's a good idea. I thought it'd be so cool, like travel to. There's always some jobs out there, like in really remote places that you can get. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, we're hiring in Alaska for people to come and like drill oil or something like that, and they pay you like $200,000 a year. I think that a job like that would be really cool and worth it for someone in my position. You know, like if I can't go back to wolfing, maybe doing something like that, because you'd get to travel, go do something kind of cool, you know, because I just want to do something fun with my life. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get into wolfing, because it like you travel, eat good food, have good experiences. That's the thing with my life, you know, I don't even care about money really that much. I just want to have a cool life. I want to have a life that was well lived. I want to do cool things. And I think like that should be the goal for. I feel like you know, most people would have that goal and they'd be a lot happier. I think just doing cool shit. Oh, fishing stream. Drink the fish's blood like Gollum. The thing with fishing is that a lot of these fish are like brought in by the game wardens, like bass and things like that. So they're like farmed fish, which maybe isn't the worst thing. I don't know how clean it is to eat. Megadosing D3 and K2 help heal faster. Well, I don't want to give away. I'll probably give it away. I'm not really in the healing stage yet. We still got a little more before I can really get into the healing stage. Hey, Primal Days, how you doing? There is a big difference. I would say farm eggs, the whites taste a bit more watery, but the yolks are going to have like a richer, maybe like slightly gamier flavor to them. And then store-bought eggs, it's going to have a more off-putting white, maybe thicker white, and then the yolk is going to not be quite as strong. Yeah, it's in terms of how I feel, Primal Days, my pain level right now, sitting here, is 0. I feel no pain whatsoever. But when I move, that's when the pain starts. I prefer making videos. Honestly, I don't know. It's like 50-50. I like streaming a lot too because it's much more interactive. And also when you're like gaming and streaming, it's so stimulating. Is Woof safe? I'm thinking of doing it for a couple months. Yeah, it's totally safe, man. It's just you just have to be safe. Don't take stupid risks. Somebody said I started drinking a lot of goat milk, so that's why I thought I could jump like a goat. So be careful drinking the goat milk. It'll give you this confidence. Like when you drink alcohol, it gives you liquid courage. When you drink goat milk, it gives you liquid goat. And you start jumping and doing stupid things. So just be careful with that. Did I get rid of my PC so I still have it? So, Primal Days. I got rid of the new PC, but I still have the old one. I just have to put the hard drive back in it, and then I should work. So maybe I could set that up. But I would feel bad if I just sit here and play video games, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I just don't want because I'm staying with my mom. I don't want my mom to think I'm just some loser, which like she doesn't. Mainly because like she knows that I do YouTube and I make a little money off of YouTube, she knows, so so she doesn't think I'm like a total loser, but I don't know. It's mostly in my head. Old potato PC, exactly. But Byron, we could still do Dark Souls. We could still do Dark Souls. Or we could do Jump Kings. What's up, Chucky? How you doing, man? It's been a while. Someone said, oh, it cut off a little bit. Something about Priggas. What up, Priggas? How do you play video games with one hand? Well, I'm sure that I could probably set my arm like this. Or put the keyboard on my lap, maybe. Rotate my arm a little bit, kind of prop it up. WASD. Yeah, I could maybe do it. Jump Kings, yes. Games, you beat Jump Kings. There's a new Jump Kings 2. Honestly, I'm never playing that game again. I can't play that game. That game was horrible for my mental health. There's nothing wrong with playing video games from time to time, but I don't know, like when I play video games, I play it for a long time, you know? Like when I want to play constantly. So I'll play for like the next 7 days. I'll play for 8 hours a day. Jump Kings with one hand could be possible. Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, you can play that with one hand. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy to think about. Oh, 3-ingredient handmade Turkish soap for my hair. Works very well. What are the ingredients for that? Going to church this weekend? I should, but I don't know. I just I don't know if I like church. I don't know, it's kind of, maybe I shouldn't say that. That's the old me. That's the old me talking. You get addicted to video games once or twice a year where you play 8+ hours a day for 2 weeks and then don't play. Yeah, that's kind of how I am with so many different things, like guitar. I'll pick it up and get addicted to it and then move on to the next thing. I've got a video where I talk about this, where it's like most people, they'll never be an expert at anything because like we just try something, move on, try something, move on. And like the cycle just kind of like repeats itself. What have I been doing with my time? Sitting around, doctor's appointments, eating, sleeping, a little bit of reading. I went to see my grandpa the other day. Just kind of like a whole lot of things. You went to the church the first time. I think I should go because, as you all know, like, I don't know. It's just so hard to meet people, friends, or anybody for that matter, if you don't have somewhere to go or something to do. And church seems like a good opportunity for that. I keep getting all these ads for the Mormon church, and it's always like two girls. They'll pop up and they'll be like, "This is a Mormon Bible. Did you know that? And we're inviting you to our church. You can come sit right next to me, and we'll be best friends forever. Come to the Church of Latter-day Saints. We'll see you there." Like, that's how they go. I've been getting all these ads. And I'm like, kind of like, hey, I might do it. I might do it. Thoughts on naturalism? I'd have to look at like the definition of naturalism, but I think it's a great thing. Getting rid of a bunch of, all the toxic stuff and living naturally. I'm a bit curious, why do you think your mom would think that you're a loser if you didn't do anything? Just asking because I am a bit concerned. Isn't she your mom? Well, it's mainly a mental thing. Also, as like a grown man who's 27, I just don't have a good track record, and I am a loser. So, that's just the truth. Yeah, also in terms of like the naturalism stuff, I made my own laundry detergent. Thomas, the farmer I was staying with, he wouldn't let me use the store-bought laundry detergent in his washing machine because of all the chemicals in it, and I'm glad he didn't. He was using just like baking soda and stuff like that. And I noticed that I stopped getting like the little acne on my back and my arms. And obviously it had to have been with the chemicals in the laundry detergent that were causing me to break out. That I kind of thought maybe that was the case, but I never really believed it to the point where I changed anything. But I decided to make my own laundry detergent recently. You also worried about what your family thought until you realize they're all crazy. What even is a loser? Well, just a relative. It's like a relative term. Like if somebody views working a 9 to 5 and living a normal life, so somebody who works 9 to 5 doesn't do drugs, that person is like, oh, he's like baseline. This is a good person. This person's good. But a person is a loser if like he, doesn't meet that. So like if he doesn't work a 9 to 5 or lives differently, like people will think loser. It's like a society thing, Like also try dating as like a 27-year-old who doesn't have like a career. Like that's a big thing that like women would look at and be like, this guy's a fucking loser. Like, there was a period of time where I didn't have a car or a bed, and I made a video about it, and there was a girl in the comment section, and she was going like, oh, you're actually right. Like I wouldn't date like me and my friends have a rule, like if he doesn't have a bed or a car, like his own place or a car, like I wouldn't want to be with him. And that's so true. Like, yes, the looks maxing stuff is important, but regardless of how good you look, if you don't have like a career, if you don't have a place to stay and a nice looking car, like something that she wouldn't mind riding in and she would feel good in, then at least here in like the Midwest, you're a loser. You think working a 9 to 5 is being a loser? Well, me too, but society doesn't agree with us, doesn't agree. Society doesn't agree with us. I am a loser. You are a loser. Oh, isn't Chucky? Yeah, Chucky's going to like engineering or something like that. Would you really want to be with a woman who thinks you're a loser because of living life your own way? Genuine question. I would. No, I wouldn't want that, honestly. 100% no. But the problem is that most women, at least in my vicinity, are going to think that. So if I'm not clean cut, with a nice car, with a career, with all this stuff, I'm a loser. And that's okay. That's just the way it is. It's not even that bad, you know. It's like, what do you got to do? Shave your beard, get a nice haircut, and stick with a stable job. Like, it's not that hard to not be a loser, but I just don't want to do all that, you know. I just want to be a heathen. At what age you got your first girlfriend? So I think I had my first like girlfriend in school when I was like in kindergarten. I was kind of like I was like the Chad of kindergarten. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I was like really just like outspoken. You know, people weren't like 7 feet tall yet, and I was like active, and I was like a robust little kid. And I had like two girlfriends. I remember in like first grade, it was like an issue because it was weird. I don't know. I had like two girlfriends, and they were upset at me or something. I don't know. It didn't last very long, but my first real girlfriend was when I was like senior year of high school. I definitely did peak in like kindergarten and first grade. And then, like I said, everybody just got like 7 feet tall. I changed schools, so that stunted my social development. All of those friends, all those people who respected me, I went to a new school and I had none of that. And I had no social skills to like talk to anybody. So like in the fourth grade up, I went from being like the coolest guy in my grade to being like, who's this weirdo? You know, and I was aware, I was so aware of it at that time because I didn't have the social skills to go and like talk to like the cool people or like the popular people. And also I wasn't like autistic, and I wasn't like a kid who just picked boogers and sit in the corner, you know? So that's when I became just like alone. And that lasted forever. That's lasted since like fourth grade. So I went popular to just like alone. Sigma male primalism. You had zero conversation with any girl for 5 years. Literally, that's been me the last like 2 years now. Pointless, constantly trying to appeal to them. Agreed. I mean, I can do it, but I have to go out of my way so much and just not be myself. That's the thing. You have to fit like a mold, and you can't really be yourself. But I don't know. I had a really good conversation with a girl who was working the honey stand today. So I think like when we're thinking about like women, we're all thinking about it in terms of like online women versus real life women, because real life women is not that bad. Did I get her number? No, I didn't ask. It was just a good conversation, and I was making a YouTube video, and I just, you know, like, you just don't ask. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it didn't seem like I wanted to ask. You've never had a girlfriend even at least once. At least you've had one or two, so. I'm very grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful that there was a period of time. So I'm not like a total, you know, like incel. It's definitely voluntary for me. You know, I would definitely say that it's been voluntary. Because like I could do the things that I know, and then I know that like if I shave my beard, cut my hair, have a job, like women I will be more appealing to women. Oh my goodness. A gift? I've never gotten a gift. It's 250 crystals. Sent a sun balloon. I don't know what that is, but thank you, Rainy. I appreciate that. I don't know what that is. Can somebody explain? Does that convert to USD? Look at this beard, bro. No, how could a woman love me when I got this wiry shit on my face? Do I like goth baddies? Truly, in my heart, no. But like illogically speaking, you know, with my male brain, yes. But you know they're evil. And girls with tattoos, somebody said this, I don't know who said it. They're prostitutes, I'm sorry. It's like a sign that you're a prostitute. And you might not be, that might not be your profession, but like deep down inside, she's a prostitute. You're assuming that I had many friends during school and college too. I did not. Like I said, up to third grade, I was the popular kid. Then I moved schools, had no social skills, so I never went up and tried to like talk to the other kids. And I wasn't autistic. I wasn't like picking my nose. I didn't want to be friends with them, so I was a loner. All until I was in, now. Are we turning bro into a black pillar? You know, I'm pretty black pilled, probably. How could you not be? As a man who spends a lot of time on the internet, how could you not be black pilled to some degree? Shave it and go on a Omegle again. They will think you're 18. Yeah, I can like age backwards a couple years when I take this off, and I just look cleaner. You had friends in school? Um, in elementary school, like I had people I could talk to and people who would talk to me, but I never really had any friends after like third or fourth grade. Like friends who I would hang out with. There might have been a couple of times where a friend like or somebody invited me over, like somebody from school. But yeah, friends, you know. I feel like I could do a lot better now. Now I know how to socialize better. But it's just a matter of getting out there and finding a good setting to meet people, which I'll have a lot of time to do it, so. Do you guys, there's this guy who makes videos, Johnny Hamcheck. Have you guys seen Johnny Hamcheck? He's pretty funny. Why do you think goth girls are like that? Gosh, I don't know. It's like they're niche maxing, you know? It's never like, usually never like a girl who's insanely beautiful who's doing it. Like it's a girl who either like looks average or maybe she's like a little above average or below average, has like a crazy recessed jaw. They're usually like makeup cells too. So like they're using all this makeup to hide their flaws. Back to your, I'm gonna go, that's an interesting one. Why are the goth girls like that? But they are definitely makeup cells. They're average girls, niche maxing. Like girls understood this stuff way before we did. They're niche maxing, and trying to appeal to like, you know, I don't know, dude. Like, what kind of guys do they even date? I don't even know. But they're just like, you know, they're just prostitutes mentally. They're, as Thomas would say, they're orphans. Like, they've never actually experienced love in their life. So they do this like really weird thing for, you know, sexual gratification and whatever it else may be. Mentally ill. Would you say the farm was a good place to get to know people? It was amazing, dude, because when people come to the farm, or like it's another woofer, it's somebody who is interested in the same things that you are. You could definitely meet women doing this as well. If you find 90% of people you meet insufferable, which I'm sure that's just an exaggeration, the problem might be you to some degree. Genuinely, I'm not saying that to be hateful. Pick me's, oh, the goth girls. Would you move countries for a girl? No. But I've never had that opportunity presented to me, so I don't know what I would do, but I think probably not. I've had like opportunities to have long distance relationships with girls, and I just couldn't do it. Thoughts on editing pics and dating apps with AI to include women to fake pre-selection bias? That's funny that you bring that up. I had saw that recently. Somebody did like a Tinder experiment, and he had a bunch of pictures of him with women, and the pictures of him next to women got way more swipes than the ones without. Oh, it was Aesthetics Waiting. Aesthetics Waiting did it on his channel. It's interesting. The ones with women got more likes. That's how women are. It's like when a guy has a girlfriend, you know, like other girls will notice and they'll be more interested because like they want what they can't have, and they like want to steal you, and it's definitely a real thing. They think like, well, if this girl has him, then I want him, you know, like it's that kind of thing. It is in fact natural, Benjamin. Does that mean it's good? No. When you gonna start Finn slash Dutasteride? Hair is life. Probably never. Honestly, I think my hair is gonna do well. I'm pretty confident in my hair. My grandpa still has a good head of hair, and he's old. Both of my grandpas actually still have hair. Um, I think as long as I use natural products on my hair, get sunlight on my scalp, I think I'll be okay. I don't think I really have to worry, you know? Can I show my hairline? Sure. Sorry, my hair is gross right now because cripple life or whatever. Cripple life. Oh, I don't want to mess up my hair, brother. I mean, I don't want to go too far back, but it's not like horrible, you know? It's like, fuck. It could be worse, you know? I don't know. It's not that bad, right? I mean, no, this isn't necessarily like mean as like receding, bro. It's like just because like your hair goes back, this is a natural like masculine thing. Like when you get older, your shit does go back, you know? I mean, it's like but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're having hair loss. Rapid hair loss. I mean, you're always experiencing hair loss. But like I don't think that is bad. And maybe I accelerated it more than I should have when I was smoking and drinking regularly, but I don't do that anymore. So I feel much more confident that the hair will be okay. Chucky said, comment on my vids so I have more motivation to post. I actually saw one of them. I definitely liked it, but I don't know if I left a comment. I'm trying to think what it was that you were talking about, but I can't. But I definitely saw one of them. Your hairline is worse than dad? Oh, dang. Hair is a job. Hair is a job. At least when it's long. This is a horrible length of hair to have with one arm, dude. Talk about a bunch of random stuff. I like listening to videos like that when I'm just like chilling out or something. Primalism X Chucky collab soon. We could collab. Do you want to collab? How are we going to collab? What could we do? Oh, you could teach me how to draw, but I can't afford that, dude. I'm about to be on Neat Bucks. I can't afford a drawing pad. I'm about to be on welfare. Am I going to lift man-made metal to recover arm strength? Probably not. If I do work out, it'll just be body weight and stuff. And whatever things that they recommend me in like therapy and stuff. Severely recessed hairline at 16. See, that is how you know your hair is falling out. When you're 16 years old and you can tell. That's just the way it is for some men. It's kind of sad. In this day and age. What do you guys think of parents being responsible for everything happening to you by the age of 16 to 18? Everything afterwards is more or less in your hands. That's a good thing to think about. Everything is in your hand when you're 16 or 18, and you're you're going to be making horrible decisions. That's just life, you know. You got to leave the nest eventually, and you'll probably mess shit up. Make shit harder than it needs to be. It's sad but true. I don't think it's a bad thing. Realistically speaking, if somebody had like a loving, good parent for like the first 18, 16 years of their life, they should be well prepared to go out into the world and start making their own mistakes and, figuring things out. But a lot of people aren't, and that's what's sad. So like when they get to 16 or 18, they were never loved right. They don't know how to have genuine conversations with other people, and they just end up making a lot of mistakes. So it's barely changed though. It's been the same for like 2 years, sort of stabilized. That's interesting. So like maybe you stopped it. Goda says that hair loss is just bad food and much stress. I kind of look like a Jewish man right now. It's kind of funny. Rabbi primalism. Oh, no. No. Torah today. Okay, sorry. When did my beard grow? Like, when did it start growing? Not that, I don't know. I mean, not that long ago. Wait, I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, you need to clarify. Oy vey. $25 for raw milk. Oy vey. Gotta stop. Oh, there's these funny like videos that I would see on Instagram where they it's like a girl, like a really pretty girl, and she's like sitting there and she's like looking directly at the camera and she's saying like wake up, Goyim. Wake up, Goyim. It's pretty funny. The Jewish curls. I got my Jewish curls, rocking my Jewish curls today. I feel like BLP kosher right now. Just a Jew on a canoe. Crack is broke with no hustle, but he blame it on the Jews. Blame it on the boogie. Jackson 5 on me too. Oy vey. Is raw milk that good for you? I can't manage to lose weight by drinking it. Well, yeah, weight loss is just about appetite management. I agree. I can get really fat and I can get really skinny. It's just a matter of discipline. There's no cheat code. You literally just have to start starving yourself. Or you could do the Coach Greg approach. You just have to eat. What does he eat? He eats like the rice puffs and stuff like that, you know, like the big, like puffy things with like air in them. I wish I could do an imitation of him. What is the longest I've starved myself for? Probably no more than like 3 or 4 days. There were periods of time when I had really bad acne and I was struggling with food. And I thought food was the 100% cause of it. So I would, I don't know, I'd eat something I wasn't supposed to eat, some sugar or some crap, and then I'd feel so bad, so I'd start fasting. And sometimes I'd fast like 3, 4 days at a time just because the only way that I could feel like I could get relief is just not eating anything. And it actually helped, but it's not a long-term solution. Oy vey, it's not a long-term solution. Oy vey. Hold on, wait. Getter, that's crazy, dude. That's why I'm laughing what you said. You're gonna try pee and semen for acne. I'm very desperate. Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. That's not actually gonna make any difference. Don't do that. If you're worried about acne, I do have some tips. Definitely just try going like carnivore, like cutting out carbs. Definitely try that. And then also get out like all of the chemicals from your life. So like think about like things like your deodorant, your toothpaste, what you wash your clothes with. Like get out of all the chemicals, eat like a carnivore. You could do I wouldn't do raw, I wouldn't do primal because it's going to give you more acne. It helps you detox, Goyam. It helps you detox. Don't worry about it. The acne's good, Goy. It's just detox. I need to stop. This is bad. Why am I doing this? I'm an evil Jew right now. My evil Jew personality is coming out. It's the hair. Somebody told me to take my hat off earlier, so I took my hat off and now my hair is all busted. When will I debate your rabbi? I want to go on Matan Evan. I want to go on Matan Evan. And it can be like, you can have the Black Israelites, and then Priga, and then Long Neck, or Bonnie Blue. That'd be an interesting one, I think. You just watched Moving Back Home video with your girlfriend, good ship. Oh, you liked it? I got an audience. You're telling me 2 people are sitting there in the same room watching a primalism video? That's pretty cool. Sometimes you don't think about that when you upload a video. Rabbi, primalism probably has to go soon because it is the Sabbath. So I need to get my rest. You watch with the whole family? You watch 2 videos? Just watch your video with my great grandmother. Isn't starving yourself bad? Yeah, starving yourself is bad. I agree. In the long run, I think that there probably are healing benefits to it. It makes sense, it's like autophagy. Your body starts eating the bad cells. One hand push-ups for workout. Dude, I could. I really need to fix my hair. This is like putting me in a very interesting mood. There we go. From rabbi primalism to excellent health. Okay guys, today we are going to talk about sunlight is more important than food. Did you know that only 15% of Europeans have curly hair? I didn't know that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I feel like they would probably use me for slave labor. They just take one look at me. Slave. Your hairs look the exact same the entire time? Fasting hurts my productivity. It does do that. Why do you care about your productivity? If you're employed, what do you mean? I mean, I can see you caring about productivity if you were self-employed, but employed, you're supposed to go as slow as possible. You're supposed to milk your boss for as much as possible and do as little work as you can. You're doing it wrong, anyways. You spat because of my excellent health impression? Today we are going to be talking about why I don't eat the raw primal diet anymore. A lot of people from my community Chris from my community says that when he listened to my advice, imitating being a bad hunter. Can I do an Andreas impression? So today, how does he sound? So today we're gonna lift some weights. This weight really heavy, but I'm gonna lift it anyway. I don't know, what does he like to say, work out? I don't like see his workout videos, but I feel like if he works out, he's probably like screaming and like grunting. I'm gonna have some milk and then pet the sheep. I'm gonna pet my baby sheep. I don't know. Is that actually funny? I ate a rat in my back garden. Hey, doomed user. Used to watch, but he goes into such niche topics. When you starve yourself, it ages you. I mean, like, if you only fast for like a week, does the aging really matter? So why are we worried about aging? We need to be worried about having fun, good experiences. Woofing. Shub. I was reading through his community posts, and I saw that he had lost his job. I couldn't believe it. I feel so bad for him. You know, he got that welding job, and then just because of the way that the economy was, they had to let him go. I had no idea. I felt so bad for him. A live stream with the Austrian friend, that would have been pretty fun. I didn't even think of that. Chad Thomas and the Austrian friend reading chat. You want to woof so you have more time to fast? Oh, okay. You would definitely, yeah, you'd be able to for sure. Because, you know, like the work, at least like on the goat farm, the work is so easy, and you do it like, it's like routine every day, so you know what to expect. Used to be raw primal, but you got E. coli from liver. Interesting. So I'm assuming you probably like went to the hospital when you were feeling bad and they told you that. Yeah, a lot of people here, like when they see you say that, they're gonna say the E. coli wasn't the problem, bro. You were just detoxing, bro. But I'm assuming you probably got like really sick. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, that's what they'll tell you. You were just detoxing, bro. I actually had a bad experience with raw liver too, like maybe a year and a half ago. I was eating some of Frankie Free Range Meat's liver, and next thing I know, I had to end the stream, and for the next 4 hours, I was like vomiting and diarrheaing all over the floor because I couldn't move because I was in so much pain. It's just detox, dude. To be honest, though, Frankie was probably trying to take me out. He probably thinks I'm a Freemason, and he was probably trying to take me out. You had set out in your fridge for a week or so. You were violently ill for like 5 weeks. Jeez. That's insane. So what do you eat now? Do you just eat like carnivore or what do you do? You're gonna finish engineering placement and go wolf for 6 to 12 months. Dude, you're gonna love it so much. I loved it a lot. I think the one big thing about wolfing that I don't like is how you're not developing anything in like society, you know? Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when all that you've done is live in society, you're going to be thinking about, well, I'm not making any money, like I'm not saving for retirement, not doing anything towards having a family. So you can almost, it almost seems like you're stagnating. Bro's liver was laced with Fent. 5 weeks is insane. Not E. coli, it's food poisoning. Good liver does taste good. It tastes, the thing with raw meat is like good raw meat shouldn't have much of a flavor at all. Or it should be very subtle and like positive. Wolfing was delayed to March. When do you think should I start contacting farmers? Wow. Well, if you're not going till March, I would suggest. Here's the thing, a lot of woofers are flaky. So they're going to contact a farmer 2 months ahead of time, a month ahead of time, and then 70% of the time they probably don't even show up. You can realistically contact farmers like a week before you start woofing. You know, they're gonna like even if they barely have any room to house you, they're still gonna want you to come because you're free labor. But you could start like a month before. That's probably as far back as you need to go. Could I fit a PC with 2 monitors in one of those camping trailers? You probably want to downsize your setup. I would sell your PC and monitors on Facebook Marketplace and get a laptop. You could probably make it work though. Never had any good liver, so I don't bother with it. Have never been ill from eggs. The only downside is the PUFA content. True. Hard liver is hard to come by. Or sorry, good liver is hard to come by. just have to find a really healthy animal. Talk to farmers, you know. Just spark up a conversation with a farmer. Email a farmer. Go to his house. Call him, you know. But it is hard to get. And it's like Bart K says, like it's not even that big of a deal anyways. Like you probably just fine eating muscle meat. So you don't need it. Good liver is gambling. Exactly. It does feel like gambling. You liked and subscribed to Vegan Christianity. I appreciate that. Isn't it true that when the eggs are raw, the PUFAs don't matter? It sounds like there's probably no evidence to support that claim, and some rawtard probably made it up. This is one of them things that people who eat raw meat say. Sorry to call you a rawtard. I'm also half rawtarded. Never had a problem from Frankie's liver. His liver is good 50% of the time. There wouldn't even be a question about how much liver should I eat? How much kidney should I eat if we just ate whole animals? That's probably the best way to do it. Like just go out, buy a sheep, eat all of it, you know? Stop buying our meat from the grocery store. Then you'd eat like the perfect ratio of meat, organs, and fat. There are butchers. There's one that I used to go to that was like that. I could just prepay for a goat or a sheep. I think I would do sheep. And then I would get all the organs and the fat. How much milk do I drink a week? I drink 3 to 4 gallons a week. You can get through 2 gallons in the span of 5 to 6 days, maybe even 6, 7 days. That's probably normal. I drink a lot because my diet is mostly milk, really. Even like pasteurized, I'll drink like a half gallon of milk. When I was on Thomas's farm, I was drinking a gallon of milk a day at the end. Raw primal gives me extreme constipation. I don't know why. Well, you should, I'd be curious to know more about what you're eating, like specifically, to know. I can't like give you a consultation or anything, but I know how certain foods react with me, at least. Let us be merciful. Agreed. Thank you, Wookie. Chucky's never had raw milk. Did you have to woof? You have to woof on a goat milk farm or something like that. What, Chucky, you're from, I can't remember, are you from, no, you're from New Zealand or Australia? You're from Australia, right? Australia. Yeah, raw milk is illegal there. Can't they sell it as pet milk or something? Chucky, you need to collab with Marcus. He's Australian, right? Ooh, Chucky, you should go wolf on Bart K's farm. Can raw milk cause constipation? In my opinion, from what I have experienced, no. It doesn't make me constipated. But I think that everybody can react differently. Like, it's possible that you could have a totally different reaction than me. Raw milk illegal in one of the biggest cowboy rancher countries. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so funny, dude. I learned, at least what I was always told as a kid was that Australia was a country, and like a lot of the people who lived there were like former like prisoners, right? Weren't they like sent over from Europe and they were trying to like make space and get rid of the prisoners or something? So a lot of I don't know, there's like a lot of people whose ancestors were imprisoned or something. So that is funny that they would have laws that are against raw milk, but that's so long ago and probably just some stupid myth. That's not even true. Well, you live on Prison Island. Oh, that also makes sense as to why raw milk would be illegal. Because if you're all prisoners and like the way you phrased it, Prison Island. Chucky, do you know what your ancestors did? Were your ancestors murderers? France is good for raw milk. I would love to go visit Europe. Basically vegetarian. I eat meat. I eat like a quarter pound of ground beef every day. Not a whole lot. So yeah, it's mostly milk and eggs, and then a little raw meat, just because it's cheaper. You know, I can get farm fresh eggs, like the ones I showed for. Let's show again, just because it's funny. Here, farm fresh eggs. Farm fresh eggs, $5 or $4, and 50 cents a dozen. These smell like chicken butthole. Or you could buy these eggs, happy eggs from the store, for freaking $10 a dozen. Or maybe there was like 7 or 8, which is insane. You can get two dozen farm fresh eggs for the cost of 1 dozen store-bought eggs. That's wrong. And also nowadays, grass-fed pasteurized milk is like $10 to $12 a gallon in my grocery stores. I just bought raw milk from a local farm that somebody has in their backyard for freaking $10 a gallon. It's insane, dude. Like, grocery stores are genuinely giant ripoffs. It's crazy that they can sell their food for more money than these small farmers whose food is way more nutritious, way less filled with chemicals. It's like everybody should be supporting local farms. Like unless you're on Neat Bucks, it's cheaper, healthier for you. I'm gonna sit back. You can't say the same, LOL. The local farm I get my dairy from charges $12 a dozen for eggs. That's insane too. And you know, like Thomas, he charged like $25 a gallon for raw milk. It just depends on like the market that you live in, I guess. Right now, I'm in a small town in Kansas. So I think the key is like moving to a small town or going to a smaller town for your milk and eggs because they're going to have much more reasonable prices. These people in these big cities, they can charge so much because people will pay it. People will pay you double or triple what you pay in a smaller town. You're surprised milk is so expensive in America. I thought you would have an excess. That's funny that you mentioned that. The Austrian guy who I was talking about, the woofer, he grew up drinking raw milk. That's all that he would drink. And they get raw milk he did the conversion and it was like $3 a gallon. You know, it's insane. And here I am paying $10 a gallon. And that's like a deal. That is a deal here. When I moved to Uh, Southern Kansas. That's where I was getting milk the cheapest. Southern Kansas is really cheap for food and living. When I first got there, I was paying $6 a gallon for raw milk. And that was in like 2021 or 2022. But up here where I live, like northeast Kansas, it's like $10 a gallon is pretty normal. What do I think about just consuming a piece of grass-fed beef fat? Oh, if you're hungry, it's a good idea, I guess. You live in Israel, the country that created the slop. 99.9% of the supermarkets are filled with slop. Finding the 0.1% of good stuff is so hard. That's true. What's interesting is like Thomas is also Jewish, you know, and a lot of people have, especially nowadays, there's no mystery that a lot of people are like very anti-Semitic. But like like an average Jewish person who's a farmer, who like reads the Torah, who studies the Torah, who is actually like true to his beliefs, like they're not bad people. You know, these are good people who want good things for the world, and but he also did acknowledge that like even Israel is a terrible place because of all of the politics and like you said, the garbage in the grocery stores and things like that. Like where I live, the milk is $4 a gallon. That's insane. Yeah, I asked the Austrian guy, I was like, did you guys farm milk? And he says, like, we did, we used to, but there's just no money that you can make with it. Whereas here, like, you could start a profitable business selling raw milk, but like in Austria, you make what, $3 a gallon? You're not going to make any money. Beef from chunks of meat is tastier. I agree. Frankie's free range beef blood. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's got an insanely strong flavor to it. You can get used to it. And I'm like the king, I feel like, of getting used to disgusting foods because I would force feed myself nasty, frozen, like like freezer burned raw liver. So I could force myself to like the raw, the beef blood or whatever. $3 per gallon here, but I can't tolerate it. Isn't that so sad? That's how I felt for a while, especially when I was living down in southern Kansas when I had over $6 a gallon. It was so good. But like I at the time, I felt like I couldn't tolerate it. I don't know if the problem was the milk. I don't know if the problem was the freaking laundry detergent I was using. I don't know. The stress in my life. I really don't know. It could have been the milk. I don't know. I've never tried horse meat, but it doesn't sound like a bad idea. Never had quail eggs either. You'd rather give up raw beef before milk? It's such a staple. I honestly agree with you. I think I would rather give up meat and have milk. I love milk. Milk is amazing. Dried horse meat salami, that sounds bad. What is the tastiest milk? Goat, sheep, buffalo, cow? Wait. Cow. Cow is best. Cow has the most like neutral flavor. So glad I have 4 gallons of it here. You guys are going to see in my next video what it was like going to that farm. So it's like a self-serve thing. They just had 3 coolers sitting out in front of their house. They say from 12 to 4, come out, get milk. It's the only day of the week that they have milk available. Just set it out there in coolers. It's first come, first serve. You just come, grab your milk out of the coolers, throw it in your car, drop off some money. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I bet cow's milk would be hard to get in Israel. I bet it's incredibly expensive to like keep cows there. There's like no grass, right? It's not a very fertile area to raise animals, so it would have to be goats or something. The time in Kansas, 3:36. Goat milk is good for cheese. It is so good. What milk is there in Israel? Sheep? Yeah, probably. Jersey cow's milk, that's probably why it's so good. Yep, the milk that I got here is from Jersey cows. The farm that I got it from, they only have 2 cows. But 2 cows, I mean, you can produce a lot of milk with just 2 cows. Adrenochrome is cheaper than milk in Israel. I've never had sheep milk. Some people say it's really good. Just like some people say goat milk is really good, but cow's milk is always the best, in my opinion. I love cow's milk. Horse milk is nuts. So wait, horses just have udders? You tell me that like you can just go up under a horse and squeeze his udders? Like, oh yeah, Andreas, he is raising sheep and harvesting their milk. That's going to be so amazing. One thing that I learned towards the end of the woofing was that you only have to breed the animal once. Then they just produce milk forever. Mind blown. So once Andreas starts milking those sheep, he's going to have a never-ending supply of sheep milk. Infinite food glitch. It's insane. And then you don't have to buy raw milk anymore. You just have to buy like hay, you know, in the winter. Hay is probably way cheaper than milk. You thought you needed to keep breeding them. Haha. Yeah, you don't. You genuinely don't. That's straight from a raw goat milk farmer. You don't even have to keep breeding them. They just always produce it. Animals are amazing. That makes me want a goat. It's illegal in Portugal. That's sad. Have you tried looking for any farms? Truly, God designed it this way for his children. I agree. How much goats do you need though? For one person, let's say like you drink like, I don't know, like how much does one goat produce a day? I didn't really ever keep track, but we can probably Google it. Somebody needs to Google how much does one goat produce in a day? And then figure out how much you need. I'm assuming you'd probably want like 2 goats, bare minimum. Most people are going to have like a herd of goats. They're herd animals, so you'll probably, it's not about like how few goats do I need. I wouldn't think about it like that. Like you're going to want a herd. And then once you have a herd, you can drink the milk, give some to your family, sell the rest. 0.5 to 1.5 gallons for one goat. That sounds right. So yeah, 2 goats would be plenty. Could you imagine that? Like, but you wouldn't just want to have 2 goats. You're gonna want to have a few. Is having a living off-grid farmstead full of animals and life endgame? Yes. Now that I have experienced it, it is definitely endgame. That's what we all want, I think. I think that's what we need. And you know what? Maybe God had me break my elbow so that I could come back home and get a job and then save money to buy my own farm. Maybe that's why God brought me back. That's definitely the goal. Could you imagine that? Like, you are the goat milk farmer. What happened with your elbow, and are you religious? I would say that I'm religious. I'm not like, the most well-read Christian ever, but from what I have read of the Bible, I would consider myself probably a Christian at this point. Yeah, I've had raw milk from multiple breeds. I think when I was in southern Kansas, it was like the Holstein cows. Those are like the big, like A1 cows, right? I think. I don't know. You said you can't imagine how anyone would stay religious on this diet. What do you mean? I don't think they're really related. How can they be related? Got to start some e-commerce to make that buck though, or can you save cash with a regular job? Wait, Survival of Nature, are you the one who does drop shipping? I'm pretty sure it's you. Teach me your ways. Do I need to pay you for like a consultation? The Austrian guy, he was really good at like day trading. There's a lot of ways to make money for sure. You hope slaughtering an animal, they gave you the brain of sheep boiled. It was cool, actually. You like slaughtering animals? Yeah, it's a cool process. At first, it is scary, but like after you do it, it feels good. It feels right. Like not like good as in like you're smiling and like singing songs, but it's like you feel like that's like end game, like you're sitting there slaughtering animals. Like that's why we're here. We're here to eat animals and drink milk. He's making a false god of the diet, as many people do, I think. And that's just religious or not. Like, that's why I don't, like the primal stuff, because they do, like, there's so much religiosity behind, like, the primal stuff. It's off-putting. Nature is God. You know, one of the things that C.S. Lewis talks about is that, there's a lot of like agnostic people who they like the idea of having a God, so they're not a complete atheist, but they don't believe there's any negative or like they don't believe there's any aspects of God that limit you in any way, or like there's no mean side to God. And that's what like a lot of agnostic people believe in. And I don't even like, that's just lame, you know? I think that there, you know, if there is a God, I think it's much cooler. It's much cooler if it's not all like fun and games, you know? Much cooler if it's not all fun and games. Sorry, I kind of sound retarded. Any thoughts on GOTUS? I haven't looked at a GOTUS video or anything about it in a long time. My thoughts would be that from what the evidence shows, he did a very bad thing to his ex. But of course, like you can't, I mean, he did do a very bad thing, and it's possible that he's still doing bad things to his family now. See, that's the thing about him, is that it's not just like, if it was like some bad things that he did in the past, like you can't judge somebody just because like something that they did, like you know, somebody committed a crime in the past or something. It's that it's very likely that he's very actively still hurting people. Like, for instance, it's very likely that he's abusing his baby daughter. You know, there's that video that has probably been deleted, or that somebody downloaded off of one of his private platforms, where he talks about how incestuous relationships between parents and children are good and natural. So, yeah, it's very dark stuff, but the problem is that he's actively still doing it. You know, it's different if you make your mistakes, you apologize, and you start moving on, or you start growing or something. But the thing is that's not what he went through. Like, he's still doing horrible things, probably. We can only assume. I don't live with the guy. How is GOTUS still on the run? How does that even work? How has 12 not caught him yet? Well, I would imagine it's just very difficult to find somebody. You know, he probably has a very good understanding of anonymity on the internet, and, you know, like disguising his IP and all sorts of stuff for remaining hidden. You like GOTUS, but you like him before knowing. But I thought like him before knowing that he existed. I just found someone that thought like me and was able to put it into words. Yeah, I agree. I had very similar thoughts. 27 live viewers, 27 likes. That's pretty cool. Of course, people come and go, you know. Can't a acid attack be justified? I don't think so. I don't think you could justify an acid attack. Live by the sword, die by the sword. I just read that in Matthew, I think. Or wait, where did I read that? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just heard it. Oh no! So there's the part, there's the part of the Bible where Judas comes back with the like the military or the police or whatever, and they pick up Jesus and Jesus's disciples. One of them cuts off one of the guards' ears, and Jesus told him to stop. And he says, "He who lives by the sword dies by the sword." And it's true, you know. It's very true. His ex being super obsessed with him is kind of suspicious to me. Well, you know, the thing is it's justifiable, and you don't know what it's like to be her. She had an acid attack performed on her. Dude, she had a crime, a literal crime committed to her. You know, like Frank Tufano, how he's obsessed with getting back at Taban? Like Taban also, like, the dude botched Frank Tufano. He messed up every single surgery, but it was all within the law. Now imagine if somebody messed up your face illegally with acid and attacked you and has actively tried to harm you. Like, it's like partially like she's spreading awareness for her own safety. And if she hadn't been so adamant about spreading awareness, it's possible that the big documentaries that were made about GOTUS may never have been made. You know, if she didn't share her story and she wasn't doing what she's doing. So I don't think that there's anything obsessive about it. Like, what would you do? Like, I would probably want to let the world know if somebody committed a crime against me who has this online presence, who's deceiving people into thinking that he's Jesus. So think about that. I think I will probably cut my beard eventually. Can we please change the topic from GOTUS to something more chill? Yeah. You feel like moving on is the only way to heal her mind? She comments on like all new videos about GOTUS. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably would be healthy if she were to move on. But maybe she can't move on from it because she doesn't know if she's still actively being threatened. Like, if she goes quiet about it, like, what if something happened to her, you know? I don't know. Interesting. Why does grain sludge taste so good at times? I don't know. It's just, we just grew up liking it. Grain sludge is goated. That guy, do you guys know Raw Bliss or Austin Vanderweel is what his channel name is now? He made a video talking about those brands that make like avocado oil chips. And I guess there was some controversy where they're not actually using avocado oil, but they're instead using seed oils. Sourdough is delicious. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna end the live stream. I think I'm gonna end the live stream now, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. I need to do something. I was not anticipating a 2-hour live stream today. Maybe 1 hour. We can definitely do this more frequently. I was thinking like I could definitely do like we could like live stream for like an hour a day. Honestly. Maybe that's too I don't know. I feel like an hour a day is better than like 2 hours every once in a while. So I don't know, something like that. Anyways, guys, thanks everybody for watching. I'll try to do more live streams. Maybe. More updates coming soon on the elbow injury. All right, guys. I will miss you all. I wish we could play video games or something. Maybe I can get my computer working. Maybe. I don't know. If I get really bored, I'll try. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to try to end the stream somehow. I don't know how. So we're going to be sitting here until I figure out how to end the stream. Do I just hit the X at the top? X?